Yeah, welcome to this special live broadcast of the Community Soldier. Shout out to all my community soldiers out there. Thank you for joining today. We got some good topics. We want the listeners to call in today. We want to hear your opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Is our governor doing a good job here in Michigan with this stay-at-home order? Do you feel that it's needed? Or do you feel that it's unnecessary and that it needs to end? I'm interested in what you guys have to say. Definitely interested in what you guys have to say. But before we get into the callers, let's just drop some facts. What are some of the things that we know? We know that the virus is spreading rapidly still throughout different communities, different populations. Science is also seeing that it is affecting certain groups of people, certain communities. It's affecting them more as far as the fatalities. But yet, there are people, a lot of people that are ready for the stay-at-home order to end and for it to stop. The numbers are showing that this stay-at-home order is causing a lot of chaos to our financial systems. 1.1 million Michiganders have filed for unemployment. Only 820,000 of them that have applied have received funds. This morning, Henry Ford announced that they're going to be furloughing 2,800 employees due to the coronavirus financial strain. The hospital says they are losing money in the millions every month of the coronavirus. Looks like we had a call early. That caller, we will call you back in about 9 minutes. We're going to start the live calls. We're going to start the calls in 9 minutes. Maybe I should have muted the Skype so that it wouldn't come through, but we're learning. This is some of the things that we're learning as we do these things. But Henry Ford has furloughed over 2,800 employees due to coronavirus financial strain. They say it's because there's no operations being done. There's no surgeries being done. There are no procedures happening like they normally would have. So it's costing them a lot of money. Whitmer is laying off 2,900 state employees. And she says it was the right thing to do due to the coronavirus pandemic. So now we are starting to see some of the reasons why people are so ready to get back to regular life. I definitely want to hear what you guys got to say about this. But let us first, before we start taking calls, I'm going to play some music from a local artist named Church Boy Willie. This song is called Happy.
Hello, my imaginary friends. You've shown yourselves to me when I need a friend. Hello, my imaginary friends. You had me at hello. I'm happy, I am. I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy till the end. You've always been my friend when I need to pretend. I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy till the end. You've always been my friend when I need to pretend. Hello, how have we become so vain? I talk to myself now. My friends say it's strange, but they don't know. They don't know how the days begin to change. I've lost myself, I see. You came unto me, and now I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I am. You've always been my friend when I need to pretend. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy till the end. You've always been my friend when I need to pretend. I'm happy. Sing my song like a bird. Sing my song like a bird. Sing my song like a bird. Like a bird. Sing my song like a bird. Like a mockingbird. Sing my song like a bird. Like a bird. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy. I'm happy till the end. You've always been my friend when I need to pretend. I'm happy.
Big shout out to Church Boy Willie with that song. It's called I'm Happy. All right, we got one of our first listeners on the line. How you doing, sir?
What up, dog? What's good? What's good?
So tell us, what do you think about the order? Is it too much?
I don't think so. I mean, I think, that given the nature of what's happening at a global level, at a statewide level, what's happening in throughout Michigan, and particularly in the Detroit area, I think it's definitely essential for us to take necessary precautions. I think it should be evaluated throughout the state, different regions and different places, and I think that starting off is definitely an efficient, order that we should all be glad that we have opportunity to have that type of civics in our life, where we could say, hey, listen, this is a global threat or a statewide threat to people's lives, and we're going to slow things down, in order to save lives. That from that point of view, you have to look at it from that point of view and say, wow, let's talk more about it.
What about the economic strains that it's putting on our industry right now?
Yeah, it's definitely having a hard impact on every sector of our lives, the weight of which we are yet to see. We have literally millions of people unable to pay rent. So therefore we have millions of landlords, millions of properties, at jeopardy, evictions at jeopardy, even though the evictions aren't in play right now. But people are going to be behind in life in every area. People's membership dues, all kinds of things is going to be due, mortgages, it's going to have a huge impact on everybody. Stores, businesses, the economy, new startups, new employees, training. I mean, it's devastating.
Yes, definitely. Just saw, like I mentioned earlier, Henry Ford is laying off over 2,800 employees due to the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's going to have a devastating impact, and, I mean, if anyone ever thought about, whether or not they could ever afford reparations to the African-American community for slavery, now is going to be the time if they show up and show out with some real trillions of dollars in a crisis like this, and if this country can withstand it, then it's proof that it could have withstood the paying out of reparations as well.
That's an interesting point of view. Definitely interesting point of view.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting point of view. It's all a matter of will and want.
Right.
So what the numbers are showing right now is that certain communities are being impacted more than others. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
And
what do you say it again? Say it again.
Some communities and some people are being impacted more by the coronavirus than others.
Oh, absolutely. And so anything that any conversation and dialogue we have relative to this COVID-19 crisis and outbreak on every level is going to be secondhand information. None of us that talk about this, generally speaking, are researchers, are in the inside to know what's going on. We're not biologists, any of this. So we don't really know. So we're all really speculating, But the information that is available to us tends to indicate that the black community, the African American community, is being hardest hit here in America. Being hardest hit. We're seeing what's happening in the Detroit area, in the New Orleans area, Atlanta, We see it. We see it happening. There's a disproportionate number of people, African Americans, people of color, being impacted by death. As well as, infections. And so while African Americans only represent, less than 20% of the United States population, anywhere between 17 to 19%, we're still representing 40 to 60, and in some areas, 70% of the COVID-19 related deaths, African Americans. Now, health physicians and, doctors are saying that it's related to what this virus targets. This virus targets, biological entities such as ourselves that are susceptible in certain areas, such as the respiratory area, the lungs, the nasal passages, things of that nature. So therefore, people.
I'm sorry, we got some other callers coming in. I don't know what just happened, but it just knocked them off. But we got another caller on. Hey, how you doing? Tell me what you think. Is the order too much?
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
Good. Am I on? I wanted to make sure. I tried to get through earlier. It said there's never been disconnected, but my name is John Ortega, and I live in Jackson. And my understanding is the discussion today is about the stay-at-home order, and is that correct?
Yes, sir. We want to hear your opinion on it.
Yeah, I'm completely for it. I think that Governor Whitmer's order, despite the fact that certain people are extremely opposed to it, she has saved thousands of lives.
Yes,
and
I agree.
I just think it's really critically important that we listen to the scientists when it comes to this. And I know the economy is getting hammered, and this is just an incredibly unique time we're living through. But these are epidemiologists. They have spent their entire careers, their entire life studying infectious diseases. Mm-hmm. They know how these things operate, or they have the most knowledge to predict how things might go. And I think some of what's happening right now is that Michigan has been hit very hard. But I think there are people out there who are looking at the statistics and going, well, we've had less than 3,000 people died, so what's the big deal?
Yes.
But I think if none of these measures had taken place, we would be getting absolutely hammered right now. The death toll would be incredibly higher. So I am all for it. I know it's hard, but I think the other thing people need to realize is that when this order is over, we are not going back to normal how we were at the start of the year. Those days are gone, at least for a year or two in this country. And I think that's a hard thing for people to understand, but I think it's something we all need to realize that we cannot go back to the way things were on January 1st, or we are going to have a lot more mortalities from this disease.
Yes, I agree. I think this disease really exposed how fragile our health systems are.
Yes.
How fragile our financial systems are even. I'm just watching how people have crashed the IRS's web portal for the stimulus tool. It's just very easily done. And it's just a testament to show you how weak we are in some areas.
Yep, I agree. I agree. I read one story, and I don't have it to mind, but I think it was on the not the Wall Street Journal. It was on the Market Watch website, which is a financial website, and it was quite a while ago. But the writer, it was an opinion piece, but the writer said, from certain levels, our economy was looking really good up until this started. But he said it was kind of like when you have that tree in the middle of the forest gets hit by a bolt of lightning, and it cracks open, and you see all this rot on the inside, and that's kind of what happened with our economy, that while things were looking good from the outside, things like the number of people who don't have any kind of, paid time off and things of that nature was exposed very quickly.
Yes, it's very sad. Well, thank you for your comment today, sir. I appreciate you for joining the Community Soldier broadcast. Hopefully you'll continue to listen and join us in the future.
Okay, thank you for giving me the time to talk.
Yes, sir. You have a good day, and you stay safe out there.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye. All right. That was a good call. If anybody else was trying to call as we were on the lines, definitely call us back. We want to hear what you have to say. Unfortunately, I'm still learning this. We're learning this. We're on the stay-at-home order. We're in quarantine. We're trying to get everything together. This is our very first live broadcast. Normally, the Community Soldier podcast airs every Monday morning at 7 a.m., and we pre-record the shows. So this is the first time us going live. I'm actually quite enjoying it. It's going very smooth. And we just want to keep hearing what you guys have to say. For the moment, till we get another caller, I think we're going to play another track. Let's go. This one is called... we got a caller right now. Let's actually take this caller before we play the next track. Let's take this caller.
Hi, you have reached Timothy Melton.
Yeah, we're going to get him back, I guess. Mr. Tim, if you're going to call us back.
All praise to the Most High. Made it this far, even under gray skies. Take a look at my past, you didn't think I'd last. But I did even have a wife and kids. Living testimony of God's grace. Been through a lot, probably more to face. But I'm focused on the future, God goes to chase. Jumping over every obstacle that's in my way. Hey, lost family and friends, that's given. Being broke, unemployed, boy, that's living. To know where you come from and where you're headed. Overcame the struggle, even though I had to hustle. Never said I was an angel, far from the devil. Can't nobody tell me that I'm not special. Created in God's image, you need to be replenished. I got the juice, no bitch. Shit.
Ups and downs, I'ma keep on jumping till I can't touch the ground. I know it's hard, but I've made it so far. I've made it so far. So far. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I keep jumping on
Where there's a will, there's a way. Money means nothing, be humble when you're suffering. Repercussion of karma, I'll peel you out your armor. Go the world naked, feeling up forsaken. I'm here to say that I made it. It's possible to overcome the obstacles. Be positive and still be profitable. Guns and drugs shoved in your face that may seem marketable. Storms out to fire, seen lies taken. Ribbon in the sky, some didn't make it. Food for thought, all you need is a blanket. This a day in the park, demonstration of my art. Don't be a slave to the system. Amaze the world with your difference. It only takes one ear to listen, one eye to see, one leg to leap, one person to change. Why can't it be me?
Ups and downs. I'ma keep on jumping till I can't touch the ground. I know it's hard, but I've made it so far. I've made it so far. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I keep jumping over ups and downs. I'ma keep on jumping till I can't touch the ground. I know it's hard, but I've made it so far. I've made it so far. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I keep jumping over.
If anybody's called and couldn't get through, it's because we're on the other line. So if you didn't get through, definitely give us a call back. We are waiting to hear from you. Actually, pretty soon, we'll start calling some of you guys back. But until that time, we're just going to keep it rolling.
You know, everybody has a story, whether it's good or it's bad, success, defeat. You always gotta remember one thing. You and only you are the author of that story.
Hello.
So with that being said, raise your glasses up. It's time to celebrate. We done made it.
All right.
Pass the loafers to the chauffeur.
Sure.
We behind curtain, certain that you up for this silly with a kiss on the cheek that
All right,
is.
no problem.
But if you feeling explicit, let's skip dinner. Head back to the
Timothy
villa.
Melton.
Ocean breeze through your hair, body chiller than the ice on the Cartiers.
All
All
right,
right,
brother.
question only destiny can answer. Balled in my recovery now that I got here, yes I can, sir. Provide documents for the chancellor. European track plays, coasting on speed dial, continental rap race. Order cause I freestyled about life in the trap case. Statement to the vision, hater blurred by the winning. Entertained by the bubbly popping in the distance. Resentments for cowards. We showered in the sin, then repent for the darkest hours like creative made men.
Yeah. We got our next guest on the line. His name is Mr. Timothy Melton. How you doing, Mr. Tim?
I'm doing fine, Brother Justin. How you doing?
Good, good. Excited to be here. Excited to have you on. So tell me, what do you think about the governor's order?
Well, I have mixed opinions, but presently, at this point in time, with the seriousness of the COVID-19, I think it is relevant that people who are either socially or economically handicapped or people of color should probably take every precaution necessary to protect themselves and stay at home.
I agree. So do you think that the order needs to be extended maybe for a little bit?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I actually watched on the news and know of some people that went to the Capitol, and it's like they don't care. And you know, without bringing racial issues to the forefront, they were all predominantly Caucasians.
Wow.
But me being a Caucasian myself, or actually I'm mixed. My mother was Hispanic. My father was a Caucasian. I personally believe that it only takes one person, as statistics say, to infect 40 other people.
That's true.
So I'm concerned more about people that are low income, have no health care, and people of color that may not want to get help, or can't get help, rather.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point, because as healthcare professionals, we understand the healthcare disparities that exist in the African American community, the low income community. We understand that they are also the community that's most susceptible to dying from the COVID-19. So, in your opinion, what does the governor need to do to support our communities here in Jackson?
That's a good question. And I'll respond with this. Without bringing politics in the issue, whether Democrat, Republican, Independent, Tea Party, whatever someone's position is, my personal belief is this. Just be safe. It's a well-known fact that there are certain medical issues that has contributed to more deaths to the virus, underlying issues rather, than the actual virus itself. It is real discouraging, in fact, that the news and the public and people's opinion suggest that, well, you know, the virus is killing such and such, and people are dying left and right, and this, that, and the other. Well, it's been proven that healthcare professionals, in fact, for instance, you could go to the hospital with an asthma attack, or a heart attack or a stroke, and it's been proven, actually, most recently, that they want to list you as a COVID-19 victim.
Wow, yeah.
And that's just not the case.
It's not the case.
No, that's not the case.
They're attributing a lot of deaths to COVID-19. I've heard some of this. They're saying that if you go in, you die of a stroke, or you die of something that's even similar to the symptoms of COVID-19, they automatically assume that you had COVID-19. So they attributed the death to COVID-19. That's what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I heard through the grapevine or through word of mouth that when they list an individual that does become deceased, if they list them at the coroner or the medical examiner, list them as being deceased from COVID-19, they get more funding.
That'd be
so
interesting. That'd be interesting to check into. That'd be interesting to check into. Well, I got some more callers. I thank you for your time, Mr. Tim. You have a good day and you stay safe, and thanks for joining Community Soldier.
No problem, but I got one more thing to say.
Yep, one more thing, real quick.
Let's not forget the brothers that are locked up that can't escape this death sentence.
Yes, I agree. Definitely, 100%.
All right, thank you, Justin. Brother Justin, have a great day.
You too, brother. It's a good call. It's very interesting. So far, I've had a lot of people basically are saying that they agree. I got some people coming over the chat right now. Mr. Nelson, he just wants to know, how can Tim say because people at the Capitol don't care? A lot of people that was there was because they care about their family. People need to work, to eat. Just because they was out there doesn't mean that they don't care. That's a good point. You know, I myself had my own feelings about the rally at the Capitol. And in fact, to even see that there is another rally planned for the 30th, once again at the Capitol. I had mixed feelings about it because I myself am an African American male. So the thing that I can identify with is me as a person, as a race. As a proud black man, I just, the first thing that came to my mind was, if that was a crowd of African American and Hispanics out there with guns, racial signs, blocking up the highway, blocking up hospitals, how long do you think that would have lasted? And I asked that, and that was the first thing that came to my mind. Not because of me holding any type of animosity. It's because it's just a known fact in the African American community that when we display our voices in protest, just look at Colin Kaepernick, what they did to him, who decided to protest about the inequalities in our communities in silence. And he was slaughtered. But yet, all of those people did that, and there was nothing. Nelson says they are claiming COVID because I hear they are getting more money for it. Could be the case. The hospital is losing millions of dollars every month during the COVID crisis. Who knows what they're doing to compensate for some of that. Nelson, you should call. Get you on the line. Anybody else? We want to hear what you got to say. We got another 28 minutes on this episode. If you'd like to call in, we want to know, is the governor's stay-home order too much? Is it time to lift it? Or do we need more time? We want your opinions. We want to hear exactly what you got to say. Is it time to lift it? Or do we need more time? If you need a number to call on, it's 517-879-2141.
I can only speak once. He's depleted by workers who for reference. This is the life that I chose, vision I had, forgotten dreams on the open road. We always knew we'd be here. Now we the only ones you hear. Fear ain't a factor when you're more than a rapper. Have forgotten dreams right in each chapter. The laughter's real like the lobster's grill. Toast to the teachers and them down to high heels. Fashion like catching out a word spill. Read the rhetoric like I'm Benny how to feel. Looks are deceiving when your enemy's grieving. Pressure get lifted when the soul is drifted. Hand-me-downs in my youth. Characteristics of a misfit. Cases over our heads like a chandelier. Crime a necessity when your vision isn't clear. Pop bottles for the people who ain't here. Now pull our chairs for the team of the year. Most nights I can only speak of once. Cases pleaded by workers who for reference. This is the life that I chose. Vision to have forgotten dreams on the open road. Most nights I can only speak of once. Cases pleaded by workers who for reference. This is the life that I chose, vision to have, forgotten dreams on the open road. I graduated from the block to the campaign. spoons to the champagne. Have nots too, I got a lot. Knocks try to knock me, but I dodge it like a bad shot. Yeah, lip zip, nigga, no talking. In and out, nigga, move cautious. I move bricks, yeah, pretty up. A pistol on my hip, let it blast, tell them get about me. Yeah, a lot of blood, a lot of sacrifice. This position came with a price. I lost some and I won some. Round after round, I was boxing till the bell rung. Yeah, beat them cases by the grace of God. Yeah, most niggas couldn't be the odds. Yeah, I came back and put my city on. I spoke it that I live it. All praise to the Most High.
Most nights I can only speak at once. Cases pleaded by workers and public courts.
Right. That was Lamar Robinson featuring AJO. That track is called Most Nights. So we're going to check out some of the comments on the Facebook post. We got Miss Lynette Ross. She says, I'm 100% behind our governor. Mike Johnson, he says, it sounds like a B session to me, complaining. I don't think this is a B session. We got a lot of good responses today. A lot of people are for the governor. A lot of people are for the governor and for her actions. But I know that there's a whole other side out there. I know that there's people out there that disagree. And that's what we're waiting to hear from. Those people that disagree with the governor's order, that think that it's too long. They think that it's just going to cripple our economy. And a lot of people are, quite frankly, are upset. A lot of people that I've talked to are upset that some people are privileged enough to get to stay home and get paid. And some of us are fighting to get unemployment. Some of us are waiting for stimulus bailouts. It just doesn't seem fair in a lot of ways, and it's not. But nothing about life is fair. Nothing about our society is easy. There will always be someone down, and there will always be someone up. It's hard. It's hard for me, personally, to feel sorry for a lot of people that attended the rally. And I spoke about this on the previous episode. It would have been one thing if I saw single mothers out there who lost their job, who, due to the fact that their children are out of school, if I saw families that live below poverty line out there with their signs, angry because the store that they worked at is no longer open, I would have been able to empathize more because I could understand what they're going through. But the people that were out there at that rally were people that have money in the bank, stacked up. Like they've experienced months and years and generations of wealth. I mean, let's just be honest. Wealth, generational wealth. Whereas people who live on 1st Street and 2nd and 3rd Street in Jackson, whereas their families have been generationally poor, these people are locked inside, or they're doing what they have to do during the crisis to survive. And they weren't at that rally. I've spoken to a woman who works at Walmart, and she told me that every day she has to go to work, and every night she comes home terrified because she doesn't know whether or not she is exposing her children and her boyfriend to this virus. every single day she has to go to work to take care of her family, making very minimal money, living check to check. I'm talking about people who are working for $300 per week. And yet, there are people that are sitting home collecting unemployment, $600 more than they would have ever made at their jobs. They're getting nothing. They bought up all the toilet tissue. They bought up all the ground beef, all the chicken. Their freezers are full. Their gas tanks are full. So they have the gas to waste to go to rallies, hour and 45 minutes away from their homes. They have the resources for those things. They have the resources for those things. Whereas others don't. They don't have the time. They don't have the opportunities because they're living on a day-to-day grind. They don't have the opportunity to social distance themselves. They don't have the comfort of having money to have gone out and bought a mask when they were still available, or hand sanitizer when that was still available. So you want to know how I really feel about the stay-at-home order? I believe that the stay-at-home order is definitely necessary. Why? Because the African American community and the low-income community is being affected and being killed most by this virus. The government knows that. A lot of people try to make things about a racial thing. But that's just a cover-up. That's just to keep us asleep, and that's to further divide us. What the real division is in this country, and what I tell people all of the time, what the real division in this country is, it's between class, economic class. It's about those who have versus those who do not have. Our country is built upon the economic class structure system. This is capitalism. One group of people will use the other group of people to get rich. That's what the world is all about. We don't want everyone to be on the equal playing field. And I believe personally that the government is willing to force us to open back up because they can accept the number of deaths that are going to occur, because they know that the numbers are showing. Look at some of the states right now where they have the highest numbers. New York, Michigan, Florida. Look where the cities are that have the highest concentrations of deaths. And you will see that these are cities where the low-income people live at. And who's been generationally oppressed, who's been generationally kept poor? African Americans. It shows that African Americans are 70% more likely to die from COVID than any other group across America. Why is that? It's because they already know about our healthcare disparities that we have. We suffer from many disparities in the healthcare system. One, we're on Obamacare. We're on Obamacare. Because we've been on Obamacare for generations, we haven't had great insurance and great health care. We don't expect much from our healthcare system. So now there has developed a stigma within the African American communities that the healthcare system is not there to help you. They're not there to help you. Therefore, we don't trust them enough to develop us a vaccine that we'd be willing to take. We don't trust them to tell us the truth. We don't trust them with our lives. I mean, just last year, I know a boy that went to the hospital, Henry Ford, for the flu, and he never came back home. So I know thousands and hundreds of other people in the community here in Jackson they just don't trust the medical system. So how are we going to fight something when I know for a fact that there's people in our community right now that will not go to the doctors to get tested. So what are we going to do? I think we have to wait it out, Nelson. I think that's the best thing. Some, not all people that was there had money in the bank. That is true. Some, not all. But at some point, they had enough to waste their gas to go down there and express what they had to say. Yes, they did. And to me, in my opinion, that's because they're lost in the sauce too. I tell people on Facebook all the time that they support a lot of the things that our president says. And I tell them all the time, you're supporting things that are actually oppressing you more. People that support Trump are supporting people who are going to oppress you. Do you know that Ben Carson is trying to destroy subsidized housing? Do you know how many people in Jackson live under subsidized housing? So it's funny when I see people comment on Facebook. They're just following the trend. Yes, they are opening up the golf clubs. I saw that. Private clubs are opening up. But like I said, they're accepting the numbers. If I see that, if this is a war, right? And if I see that I can release this agent out here and it's only going to kill 20% of my soldiers, but it's going to kill 70% of your soldiers, I can accept these losses. I can accept these numbers. It's actually beautiful numbers for me. That gives me more of a chance to win. In Michigan alone, African Americans only make up 26% of the state. But go check out the numbers of African Americans who have contracted COVID-19 and compare. You will be amazed, blown away. And there's so many factors that factor into that. Economically, systematically. Let's look at how our town is built, Jackson. Yes, our mayor has invested all of this money into downtown. But yet, we still have at least 13 party stores that sell liquor and cigarettes and lottery tickets on the south side. Why is that? You can't walk but 3 blocks and there's a party store that sells you drugs. All kind of stuff that destroy your body. No healthy food options. And now they're putting up these Dollar Generals everywhere. That's supposed to satisfy you. That's not real grocery stores. I don't understand how they're labeling these COVID deaths. A lot of people are concerned about how they're labeling these COVID deaths. I know one thing, that the numbers aren't being reported accurately, no. But think about, Nelson, how many times that someone is going to die from COVID-19 that we won't know. I know for sure that there are people that are addicted to drugs right now that have not social distance. People are going to die, and we're not going to know. We're not going to know that they had COVID-19. It's going to be too late unless the coroners are testing every person at this point, which they're not. We're not going to know who is dying of COVID-19. And do you know that the numbers, that they're not including prisoners in jails in those numbers either? We have 3 prisons here in Jackson. So they're not even counting those. And we know that people are dying every day in the prison system. We saw a video from Lansing. From Lansing's jail, not even a prison. How the inmates are being treated in there. Exactly. So a lot of people are getting tested. A lot of people are getting turned away from being tested because they don't have enough symptoms. Why are they getting turned away? Because our president lied to us. We don't have enough tests. That was the very first thing my organization said to us in our very first case meeting about the COVID-19 crisis. When they told us that we were going to be working from home until the foreseeable future, I remember how dumbfounded my face was when they said that. And I remember her saying They don't have enough tests. They only sent us so many COVID-19 tests that we can only test so many people. And you see it's true. I called the drop-in center, the drive-through center for Center for Family Health, and I called because I heard someone say they couldn't get a test. So I called myself and I said, hey, I would like to get tested because I think I have come across someone who has symptoms. They told me that unless I was experiencing symptoms, they would not test me. They're not going to waste a test. So this goes to show you how unprepared our country was for this. Flat out. We're just totally unprepared.
You got it going. You got it going on, girl. You got it going. Everybody said, ooh, girl, you got it going. Girl, you got it going. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Got it going on. Girl, you got it. Girl, you got it going. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Got it going on. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Girl, you got it going. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Got it going on. Put your hands on your hip and dip for me. Girl, you got it going on. Gon' trip me. Loyalty, loyalty is my friend. Ooh, I like the way you walk in your heels. Like sheesh. Ooh, girl, I like the way that you got it. Just know that you got it. Catch your body every time you in my body. If I got an issue, you solve my problems. I can't do nothing without you, girl. I'm sorry. Girl, you got it. Girl, you got it going. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Got it going on. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Girl, you got it going. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Got it going on. Girl, you got it. Girl, you got it going. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Got it going on. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Girl, you got it going. Ooh, girl, you got it going. Got it going on. Ooh, shit what your mama gave you. That's that family tree. And girl, like when you in the kitchen, you got the recipe. Put your hands on your hip and watch you dip and do. Put your hands on your hip and watch you dip and do. Girl, you know I got them Pringles, I'ma stack them chills. Anything, whatever you wanna do, I do for you. I ain't gotta rhyme, I like the rhythm in your booty, who? Drop it to the floor, drop and roll. Fire, ooh. You the sire, you the truth. Move, 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 move. Ooh, you think like a cow, girl, move, move. And watch out when you come through. Ooh. You got it, girl. Girl, you got it going. Girl, you got it, you got it, you got it going on. And when you body, you catch your body and you know it's true. You embody everything, you just bust and move. Bust and move. Loyalty's a free. Loyalty's a free. Loyalty's a free.
All right. It's been a great episode. I am so excited for how this turned out. This is our first live broadcast. Normally, you can catch Community Soldier on any podcast streaming service that you may use or any music service that you may use, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, or just tuning in onto the Spreaker app. We're working on building a app for our podcast exclusively for Community Soldier. We will be working on one for iPhone first, I believe, because a lot of people have iPhones. I think that's just the way to go. So be on the lookout for that. Our show airs every Monday at 7 a.m. You can tune in to the show anytime. We have many outlets to choose from. You can tune in Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, or we have conventional methods like YouTube. SoundCloud, and even you can just catch us on our Facebook page. We have a website, 517 Community Soldier at WordPress.com, where you can catch up on some of the articles, some of the news, and some of the local resources that we have available. Before we go, just a couple more things on the news. I see Michigan restaurants are projected to lose $1.2 billion in April. It's confusing because some of these numbers that they're throwing out, they just don't make sense. I posted about last week, Michigan farmers, and farmers all over the nation, for that matter, were destroying crops. They said that because of the lack of demand, they had to destroy crops because simply people weren't buying enough, which didn't make any sense to me because constantly all I see in the grocery store is empty shelves. So how does it make sense to me that people aren't buying? When people are buying, people are staying home. Me, myself, in my house, we're eating more than we ever did before because we're staying home. So how could it be a shortage? Now, I understand restaurants losing money. A lot of them have adopted pickup services, delivery services. Those restaurants are doing okay still. But I guess there's some restaurants that had to lay off a lot of their workers. And they're not going to survive this. I even seen the owner of a popular Michigan restaurant just died due to coronavirus. We don't know how this is going to affect us in the future. We don't know how this is going to affect us right now, tomorrow. All we can do is hold on. Rally up our troops, our community soldiers, and fight back.
I remember having nightmares of being 45 at a job where I clocked in at 10 and I still had to say yes sir like a slave to a man, and it hurts me cause honestly I know my worth. See, I got dreams of being heard, see, cause my words monumental, poet they monumental, and it should be deadly the way that this kid hit stroke the mind of Ali, body of Carl Winslow, but I die for my family matters. I love my kinfolk, I do it for the kids who go home and write their bars about the dreams of winning Grammys, making families with the stars, the fast life, flashing lights, people know just who they are, couple mentions in the Hamptons, couple $1 million cars, whoa. Slow down, you don't deserve that chuck, cause when you have good things, you tend to mess that up. When I'm a stone cold winner, so excuse me, but sometimes my doubt kick and I gotta shut that up. But anyway, back to the winning, back to righting all the wrongs, back when I was sinning, doing all kind of things for the fame to fit in. Couldn't picture who I was, so I had to change my image. Can you dig it? I'm from a city where the kids got heat, and the way they double cheese is to cook up beef. No time to go to school, they gotta push that weed so they can ride around the town and be like, look at me. But when your daddy do it too, and your mama look away, cause everybody eating good, and them bills is getting paid. So as a kid, what do? When you wanna cop the J's, you get connected to the plug and started charging for the yay, man. Started charging for the yay, man. Man, we gotta do better. If we don't want it, they're not gonna want it for us. You feel me? So I had to let the beat breathe, so y'all can think about what I just said. Talk to your conscience about the knowledge that I just fed, and now you plotting in your noggin about your bread. How you can turn the slice into a bakery, from the street to flour bread, so you know it ain't no faking me. Fighting for ancestors. misfits and outcasts, we shall overcome. I'm all about that, and women, where your rights at? Cause y'all important to me, even though sometimes your story's boring to me. Y'all supposed to be the world, a part of the team, not just a side piece. Grandmother, I mean, Oprah made it, Taraji did too. Build your own dream and start marketing you. You ain't gotta shake your body just to make you few dollars. Get you a hobby, get a sponsor, read a book and get knowledge. Cause out here, everybody got something to say. But when it's time to pay their dues, they ain't got nothing to pay. Ain't got a pot to piss in, but they got rocks to throw. All this heat in the hood still can't stop the cold. All these churches preaching sermons, but we don't like to go. Cause the streets finna preach past the lock and load, don't know.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody that tuned in to the show today. We definitely appreciate y'all for coming out. It's been a wonderful episode of Community Soldier. That's going to cover our hour, man. Y'all be safe. We love y'all. Make sure y'all continue the social distance. I know it's getting hard, and I know it's hard on people emotionally. If you need help, make sure you go to the 517communitysoldier.wordpress and then leave us a note under the contact section. There's a section to get help. Make sure you click that, fill out your information so that one of our specialists can contact you. We love y'all. Be safe out there, and make sure y'all continue to do what the governor says to do. It looks like all of our polls online, on all of our social media sites, and even on our online chat broadcast here today, most of the people that commented said they agree with the governor's orders. So let's just do this. Let's hold strong. Stay strong, everybody. It's going to be all right, man. I love you guys.